The 3-to-1 ratio is basically, am I paying more attention to positive behavior or am I paying more attention to negative behavior? Now that's an important distinction because many people think you're talking about nice things teachers do versus mean things that they do or something else. Let's take the belittlement off the table and just assume that is not in a teacher's repertoire. So we're not even talking about the negatives having anything to do with that. The negatives are anytime I am having to pay attention to misbehavior that I consider to be negative misbehavior. I'm trying to use my interaction to shape you back to either following my rules or meeting my procedures or whatever they happen to be. And I'm basically saying that that negative may need to have been done because you may need that information right now. But I am also saying, in part, what I have just communicated to this child is, one way to get my attention is to do something that annoys me. So I want to make sure that I buttress against that possibility by you also seeing it is actually easier to get my attention and more satisfying and a better kind of attention to get attention from me when you're exhibiting pro-social behaviors. So that includes everything from like, if I had to correct you right before you left my class today, but I see you later in the hall and you're not even coming to my class, but I say, Devin, very good to see you. Having a good afternoon? There I am at a 1-to-1 with that kid, where that kid has seen, okay, he did correct my behavior and he said I need to be doing X or Y, but also he doesn't seem to hold a grudge. Just his saying, hey, good afternoon, Devin, yeah, how you doing? Has communicated. We're, at the very least, we're back to even. The next day when you're walking into my class, I say, hey, Devin, good to see you today. How are you? That's 2, because it's 2 times that I've interacted with you when you were not engaged in misbehavior. Neither of them in this particular case involve praise, but they're 2 demonstrations that you don't need to screw up or annoy me to be noticed by me. And then if a little bit later in class I get the class engaged in an independent work period and I just come over and I just look at the quality of your work and I just say, hey, looks like you're doing great. Please let me know if you have any questions. That just acknowledges that I noticed your on-task behavior and that puts me at 3-to-1. The 3-to-1 is more conservative than most behavioral experts suggest, so I encourage you to think about that as a minimum. But it's basically you want every kid to see all of the adults in this school are much more interested in capitalizing on and solidifying strength than they are just trying to catch weakness. If I'm not careful, I can end up paying so much attention to misbehavior that my kids who are starved for attention find, if I do what this guy wants, he doesn't even notice I'm here. But if I annoy him, I can get his attention like that. I definitely want to avoid that, but I want all of my kids to see, I notice their strengths. And that is done by paying attention to their positive behavior. Something I didn't mention with the group today, but should have, is with secondary teachers, some kids that they really have to watch for with this are the average kids. Because the average kids may never be causing me problems, which may never prompt, oh, I need to pay more positive attention to this kid. But there are also kids that can potentially just fade into the woodwork completely and remain completely unnoticed by me. So if you're never causing problems in class, but your abilities may not be outstanding, I at the very least need to be able to notice when I see you putting a little bit of extra effort into something, or the quality of your work is a little bit better, or the courage to participate a little bit more. I need to let you know that I noticed that effort.